welcome. Today I thought I'd talk about psychology, spirituality, and one of the missing links. So let's dive right in. So, psychology is often the study and the knowledge of ego development. Psychology understands, for example, the experiences that we have as children. So, for example, when we have as children, we're going through individuation, rapprochement. A child will actually run away. This is the classical example. A child will run away from their mom and then come back, hug them, and then run away and play more. So really what they're doing is they're learning how to be independent, but also having the safety of having a caring attachment figure who they can check into. Psychology offers a lot of important and necessary understanding about our egos and our development. And we actually need to develop healthy egos in order to, have, we need healthy structures in order to do what we need to do in our lives and have success. For example, holding a job, we need a healthy ego structure to do that. Making food, we need a healthy ego structure to buy the food and make time and cook it. So psychology offers some really important knowledge about ego development and what are the different development stages that we go to, what are the different traumas or woundings that we may experience during those developmental stages, and how that might impact or affect us later in our lives. Classical example, when we're going through that phase of rapprochement, or really the first 5 years of our life, a lot of times when people reach adulthood and they want to get into relationships, they look at, oh my gosh, my attachment style is really reflected here in my adult relationship with my intimate partner, and how that was connected with the first 5 years of my life and what I experienced. Let's talk about spirituality. So spirituality, oftentimes people go to spirituality because they are either motivated towards growth or evolution, or they're in pain and they need some kind of solution. And what traditional spirituality does is that it gives us ways to, it's a process of transforming our egos. So our ego structures can have the healthy structures, but also a lot of times our ego structures are can have, through our woundings and our experiences, we can develop ways of being in the world that aren't working for us. We might be reactive, we might be, rageful, we might not know how to hold a job that we kind of need in order to be healthy functioning individuals in this society, for example. It's just an example. So what spirituality does is that it is about connecting with something bigger than our ego structure. Connecting, oftentimes, most spiritualities talk about connecting with the absolute. So we come to a space where we can realize, oh, I'm in relief because I'm not identifying with my ego. I can watch my ego. I can watch the thoughts I'm having. I can watch the feelings that I'm having. I can watch the sensations that I'm having, but I'm not identifying with them. It's really a wonderful way of transforming our ego. What happens oftentimes when we go through spiritual practices for a long time is that our ego starts to thin out. So what happens is that we keep going to something that is not our ego. We develop some kind of witness consciousness. We develop capacities to it's like going to different capacities that we can not be a slave to our egos, really. So it's amazing because oftentimes with spirituality, not only do we learn to disidentify with our ego structures, but we also start to tune in and cultivate different capacities or qualities of our being, including the absolute. What often I have found is missing in spiritual teachings is that spiritual teachings and ego psychology tend to miss something that is the soul. And the soul is actually the feeler. The soul is the part of us that holds purpose, meaning, guidance. It is the part of us that gives our lives meaning and direction. It's the one that can bring us fulfillment. We are here for a purpose. We are here because it's something that we want to cultivate, we want to offer. So then we go to psychology. Even transpersonal psychotherapy, oftentimes we will get the ego development, we'll get the transpersonal piece of not identifying with the ego, connecting with different qualities or states of being, including the absolute, and we miss this one. We miss this one. Oftentimes in spiritual teachings, why we miss the soul is this is the part of us that got really hurt. This is the part of us, especially when we were kids. This part of us really felt, for example, broken heart. And somebody talked to us in a way that was painful. And because this part of us is the one that gives us life, really, it's the meaning, the purpose of our lives, but also the part of us that experienced so much pain. Many spiritual teachings bypass or deny or don't even acknowledge the existence of this one. It's incredible to be able to cultivate enough power to connect with the absolute that we can actually just kind of feel like we've erased this part and that it's not real and that it doesn't exist. That's not the reality. So, I'm actually curious. I think I'm just going to leave it here for now to see what might be your reaction be to this talk where we're talking about spirituality, psychology, and the soul? And I also want to say that actually there are teachings, there are maps out there, there is support out there to integrate all three, integrate all of this. How our ego development relates to different qualities of being and essence. How the absolute is here as the ground of support for us. And how a soul is an important and central part of our awakening. All right. Let me know what your thoughts are.